Lars Enarson here from Israel with Gaza in the background at the horizon. Today it is day 12 in the war against Hamas. Yesterday, late yesterday afternoon, a rocket fell in Gaza next to a hospital. And according to Hamas, 500 people died in the hospital, and immediately Hamas went out and spread the news that Israel had bombed a hospital in Gaza. Israel denied the information and said, we are going to investigate. And this morning, they came to a very clear conclusion that Israel was not responsible for this rocket. It was Islamic Jihad that had launched a rocket that misfired and fell at the hospital. One of the proofs of this was actually a recording between two Hamas terrorists discussing the very thing that one of Islamic Jihad's rockets had fallen on this hospital. So, but world media took immediately the information from Hamas, including BBC, for instance, and of course the entire Arab world is in uproar over this slaughter. They said, 500 people, Hamas said, had been killed. Today they have lowered that to 200. We don't know how many have been killed actually. All we know that it was false information. It was fake news. But the danger has already occurred in that many people have turned against Israel because of this. However, yesterday when I was in prayer, I was led to pray the prayer that King David prayed when he had to flee for his son Absalom. And one of the king's friends, his name was Ahithophel, turned against David and took the side of his son. So David prayed, it says here in 2 Samuel chapter 15 and from verse 31, O Lord, please turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness. Friends, we're going to pray that what Hamas intended for evil against Israel, God will turn around for good for Israel, that this will be a wake-up call for the media around the world to not just take the information that Hamas gives them as truth. Why should you believe a terrorist organization that intentionally kills civilians in the most brutal way, that automatically you believe that what they are saying is the truth instead of information that comes from the only democracy in the Middle East? That is such a shame. And we must pray now that this will lead to a turnaround for many, especially in the media, to not buy into these lies and distortions from Hamas. Today, President Biden has arrived in Israel. The Secretary of State Blinken has been here for quite a few days already after the war began. We know that the United States has assembled warships now to the eastern shore of the Mediterranean outside of Israel. In every way, the United States is trying to give the impression to the world we are behind Israel, and they say we are here to help you with whatever you need. However, that's not the whole truth. Yesterday, Blinken sat in negotiations with the war cabinet here in Israel for 7 hours until 3 a.m. in the morning, pressuring Israel to basically help Hamas, to save Hamas from Israel's plans to go into Gaza to destroy Hamas. And President Biden has said openly in an interview on 60 Minutes that it's not a good idea for Israel to take over Gaza. So we know that they are placing enormous pressure on Israel now, not allowing Israel the weapons that they need to go into Gaza to destroy Hamas. And the army of Israel is ready at the border to go in, but as long as President Biden is here, they will not be able to do anything. That's the truth. Biden is here indirectly protecting Hamas from Israel's war to defeat them. And we must pray that this will turn around, because from the very beginning we have prayed that it will be just like when Esther entered into fasting and prayer to save her people against the plot of Haman to destroy the Jewish people in the Persian Empire. We must pray in the same way, that God is going to save Israel from the plans of Hamas to destroy Israel and to kill the Jewish people. Friends, if you go to the charter of Hamas and read it, it's very clearly stated that it's a plan of genocide that is the foundation, a genocide against the Jewish people that is at the foundation of the charter of Hamas, and the complete destruction of Israel. There is not a single word indicating any compromise in the destruction of Israel. So we must pray like Esther, Queen Esther prayed, in order for this plan to destroy Israel and to annihilate the Jewish people, that it will fail. Haman, in this case Hamas, must be destroyed. And I want to read from the book of Esther, chapter 8, where it says in verse 3, what happened in the end. I'm going to begin to read verse 3 and then go down to verse 11. Then Esther spoke again to the king. She fell at his feet and wept and pleaded with him to avert the evil plan of Haman the Agagite and the plot that he had devised against the Jews. When the king held out the golden scepter to Esther, Esther rose and stood before the king. Now I'm going to skip down here to what happened after she had pleaded with the king. In verse 11, it says, the king allowed the Jews who were in every city to gather and defend themselves, but not only to defend themselves, but to destroy, to kill, and to annihilate any armed force of any people or province that might attack them. This is what we're going to pray for, that Israel will have the freedom to go in and destroy Hamas. And I thank you for praying for Israel at this time. Thank you all the praying ladies out there, just like Queen Esther, going before God in intercessory prayer, that Israel will have the freedom to destroy Hamas. Let's stand faithfully in fasting and prayer until we see the victory. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support for Israel. God bless you. I'm Lars Enarson here in Israel from the war front outside of Gaza. God bless you.